Hi, and welcome to our super special webinar, our masterclass that we're doing today. And I'm going to be introducing Marcus to you in a moment. For those of you who have not met me, and I think most of you have, I'm Roger Hamilton, and I'm the founder of Genius Group, and we're running the entire Impact Investor Festival through the month of April and going into May right now as well. And this is a very special masterclass that we actually hadn't planned at the beginning of this month, but things are moving so quickly in the crypto space, and we had so much demand from people that were looking for the latest that were happening, that we said, okay, we actually do need to be running this in between our first of all challenge and then the summit that's coming up next week. So let me just give you a bit of an introduction into Marcus and why we're even running this session today. First of all, you'll see that we do have this page, which you're all on right now, where we have the live video, and I'm just going to post in here right now as well. Hi, I'm Roger in Poland. I'd love you to post the same as well. You don't have to say what your name is because I think that'll pop up. I put a yes. So why have I put a yes? Because I'm going to ask you to post where you are in the world right now and whether you're currently invested in any kind of cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or anything else, or not, right? And put a no if it's a no, or maybe put a not yet, because this is going to be something which is going to be really valuable for all of you over this next hour, whether or not you're already an experienced crypto trader, an investor, or whether you're just getting started or want to get started as well. So please do go ahead and post the latest comments, whatever they are. I'm just doing a quick refresh to see others on here. We've got Danny on here already in London. We've got Lee here from South Africa. We've got Chelsea from Singapore. We've got Maria also from South Africa, and a whole bunch more who are joining us. We've got Tina from Denmark, Devon, Australia, Mallorca. All right, from all over. So good to see you all here, and keep on posting as you go. Let me also share a little bit about how we are working with Marcus right now. Marcus, I've known for many years. We have crossed paths on stages. His whole background has been with top mentors around the world. So if you've ever gone to some of the kind of classic investor-related speakers, whether it's Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Brian Tracy, these are all people that Marcus has worked with in the past. And at the same time, he's got a lot of the top people in his crypto club right now. So people like T. Harv Eker and others that are trying to learn about the latest going on within cryptocurrency. Marcus actually set up your crypto club, which I am a part of. So I'm learning all about cryptocurrencies from Marcus and his team. And really, it doesn't take that long. You can see here, trading 20 minutes a day. He's going to explain exactly in the next hour, exactly how that's possible, right? Why it is that today there is so many simple, easy ways to understand what's going on, especially if you're learning from others as well. And Marcus is part of our entire summit. So he's been part of our micro school, which we're halfway through right now. Many of you who know of Genius U know that we're running a full festival, which includes a summit right now. Our summit is happening next Thursday and Friday. And I do want to say that for those of you who decide, like me, to be part of Marcus's crypto club, this was a large part of what we were doing today to actually make sure that everyone is staying up to date. We decided to package in all of Marcus's crypto club and all the things he's doing with our Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind, which is our main mastermind right now, which many of you are part of, together with basically a ticket to our summit, right? So you'll see when you read through this, which you can have a look at while Marcus is going through the next hour together with you, you can read through and kind of see, is this something you want to take further? Because we are all very busy right now learning from each other and making sure we're not missing the opportunities going on today. And just to give you an idea of 3 things you need to be aware of if you're not yet aware of them. The first one is that there has been a pullback on Bitcoin over the last week, and a lot of our micro school participants who are in there buying. Marcus is going to explain exactly why that is, what the strategy is where you're buying on the dips. And this here is an article which actually just came out, which is about basically the what is called the stock to flow multiple and the predictions of Bitcoin based on something called Bitcoin halving, and how it has been tracking extremely tightly to a pathway which goes right back to 2011. And this goes all the way through to 2026, where Bitcoin hits $1 million, right? You can actually see here exactly how well it's been tracking along. And there's a lot of news articles about this. You just go and Google under Bitcoin stock to flow, and it will show up and you'll see what's going on there. And there's also a whole bunch of stuff going on with Ethereum right now. And I'm not sure if Marcus will have time to share that, but certainly if you're in our groups, you'll hear about all this as well as to why Ethereum just went to a new high based on what's coming later this year as well. So this is a very, very different world that we're living in right now. I'm super excited that we get a chance to learn with Marcus as well, and that we are now bringing together all of the best programs and the best minds we have on cryptocurrencies into Genius Group. So you can all benefit from that as well. Final thing I'll say before Marcus comes on is that there is also a download here, which is free. So you just have to scroll down and you'll see it. And this is a ebook which Marcus wrote, which is super valuable and gives you a whole bunch of information right now to make sure you're really getting the most out of the next hour. I'll come back on at the end of the hour to basically join in, and I'm listening all the way through this, taking notes as I go. And then at the end of the hour, there's going to be Q&A as well. So do kind of carve out more than just the hour if you really want to make sure you're getting the most value and getting your questions answered as well, because we'll be collecting the questions and getting them answered. And Marcus pretty much has answers to all the questions, really. So Marcus, are you there? Marcus, we are not seeing you or hearing you right now.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much.
We're here.
I hope you can. Yes, fantastic. Lovely to see everybody here. And I'm super excited to be working with you guys. Super, super, super excited. What I'm going to be doing is sharing a PowerPoint if I can. I'm just going to go through that and get the technology working. Share screen. Yes, sir. Here we go. Okay, and let me know if you, for whatever reason, can't see this. But as Roger says, basically, yes, you know, the guys here at Genius U, they're just spending 20 minutes a day. Now, I do have to say, and he obviously also agrees with this, that in the first month, the first 30 days, it might take a little bit longer, but then you really do need to settle down to 20 minutes a day. Otherwise, most people probably wouldn't do it. Although, wow, what you were just saying about the stock to flow model is so true. It really is tracking it since 2011, which is super exciting, you know, and this pullback was much needed, as you just said, in order for us to go to the next high. So I'm super, super excited. Today, in the next kind of 90 minutes or so, part one, what is the blockchain and cryptocurrencies? Then we'll look at some coins, 5 ways to make money. Make sure you take lots and lots of notes there. And the 7+ reasons why you need to be involved in the future finance cryptos. Hopefully, those of you who want to do it properly with our help. And I have to say, when I first started, there was no help. So I really have made all the mistakes, invented a few more, and you will learn from that as well. So just very, very quickly, because some of you probably know this, is, you know, what are cryptocurrencies? What is the blockchain? Well, the main thing here is that it is not centralized. So it's decentralized, which means it cannot be controlled by banks or central banks. Right now, if you were to send money to anybody else, you'd have to do it through some central entity, which of course makes sense because, you know, something has to track. It's called a ledger, you know, minus £100 from your bank account, plus £100 from the other person's bank account. It's important that it's written somewhere, but it costs time and money, and that's why the banks make so much of it. In the new decentralized world, we have now not one central entity, but take Bitcoin, for example, blockchain 1.0, back from 2008. They have 10,000 different miners that are basically making sure that your transaction of £100 or dollars is leaving your digital wallet, right? It's all digital, through the blockchain, these little blocks of work that make sure that your 100 is minus your account and plus somebody else's account. Very important, please write this down. Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Ethereum to Ethereum. Don't make the mistake that I made, because I didn't have anybody helping me when I started 2016, when I sent, you know, Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. I thought Bitcoin. I had no idea, right, back then. Now, of course, I know better to do that. And, you know, it really is affecting every part of the world. Slowly but surely, if you have a look at the whole e-commerce, global payments, remittance, P2P lending, microfinance, right there, we're talking about billions. Record keeping, healthcare, title records, ownership. You can see the whole securities, trillions. Anywhere that has anything in the middle person is now being taken away. Let's have a look at some examples. So literally, your mobile phone means that you have your own bank. You no longer need the banks. Now, there are around 3 billion people around the world. I don't know where you're from, but, you know, 3 billion people around the world that don't have access to a bank because the banks think they can't make money out of them. Well, guess what? Those people now don't need access to a bank because they have access to a phone and the blockchain. I'll come back to that in just a moment why that's so important. It's also a great tracking mechanism, you know, where your food is born or grown, transported. Is your food really fresh, or has it been transported for 3 weeks and sprayed to become green? You know, you might want to know, you may not, until it's on your table. You know, and tracking things like, and securely is the most important thing, is, you know, we had the whole thing about Biden and Trump, you know, who won Georgia? And they keep recounting and recounting. And then they find new ballot boxes, you know, in the corner. How many times has that happened? Do you remember Al Gore? Come on, you know, through your phone, you should just be able to press a button. It's all encrypted. But, you know, do you know that some people don't go and, you know, use their democratic right to vote because it's raining? Well, you can now do it from the comfort of your own home. And you know this, right? This is the big debate that's going on and has been for the last years is, you know, when you use YouTube, Google, all the different applications, Facebook, what do? They gather your data and then sell it on and make money that way. And you don't have the choice. Well, you do have the choice. You either use it or you don't, right? If you use it, then you agree. I don't know about you. How many of you might not want to give your data, or you sell the data and you make the money, right? And this is the final kind of thing. I'm sure there's lots of others as well, but it's really splitting everything into small fractions. You know, so for example, you can, whole buildings, 2019 in Germany actually was the first time. If somebody can't sell their building for 20 million, let's say the Donald can't sell, you know, a bit of Trump Tower, there's a condominium in there, you know, but what he can do is he can little unique pieces of it, you know, somebody gets this window, part of this window, and each part is kind of worth, I don't know, $1,000. And then there's an exchange where you can buy and sell on it. And what does that mean? Well, that means that people, do you remember the 3 billion people who don't have access to a bank, but they do have access to the blockchain? Now what they can do is they can buy previously inaccessible assets. So Western-like wealth creation suddenly is available even in the remotest corners of the world, which means it's great for the 3 billion that can now access, but it's great for you who is maybe selling something, you know, whatever that is. Is it an NFT? Is it a non-fungible token? You know, the guy who sold a fart for $80. I know it sounds ridiculous, but what you need to do maybe is just say, well, it's ridiculous to me, but are there people that will buy it? And the answer is absolutely yes. Can you imagine a little fraction of the Taj Mahal? How many of you think that maybe 100,000 people around the world might buy a fraction, a unique piece of the Taj Mahal that nobody else has for £1,000? You might say £1,000. Yes, but they might do it as a romantic gesture. And then they can buy and sell it on an exchange. This is, as Roger says, a whole new world. So you can either say, this is ridiculous, or you can say, how can I, and you might want to write this down, take advantage of the largest transfer of wealth since the internet? Since the internet. Now you might still say, well, what's that all going to do with me? Okay, let me ask you a question. Very, very quickly, please type in. Are you ready? Please type in, you know, what is, who is rather, the creator of HTTPS? You know, the internet that you use every single day. Who is the creator of that? And it's a Brit. And not many people know this. Some of you do. It's Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee. Most people don't know that. But let me ask you another question. Get ready now to write it in the chat, please, which is this. Who is the creator of, ready? Facebook. Who's the creator of Facebook? Some of you say it's the Winklevoss twins, but actually, Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg, etc. Everybody knows that. Why is it that you know that? Why do you know this young billionaire, but you don't know probably something that you use even more? Because the value, look at this, look at that. On the web, the value is captured on the application that sits on the protocol. So it's all the applications like YouTube, Facebook, meaning that every time there's any advertisement that you and I look at, right? We're really important because without us, there is no Facebook, there is no YouTube, there is no Netflix, there is no Google, right? When we look at a bit of advertising, who gets paid? Mark Zuckerberg gets paid. We don't get paid. We don't get anything. But now enter the blockchain, because in the blockchain, the value is actually covered on the protocol layer. Yes, on the application as well, but on the protocol layer. So Roger just mentioned Ethereum, blockchain 2.0. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, much faster, was much cheaper than Bitcoin. I'm not sure at the moment because they have scaling issues, but they're working on them. And that's why what's happening with the price at the moment. There, all the protocol, if you have kind of a suggestion on how to improve it, or you use it, right? So if you're on there making suggestions or watching advertisement, or you're doing something, guess what happens? You will get paid in tiny little tokens, Do you get anything from Facebook? Do you get anything from YouTube when you watch a video? Nothing at all. Here you'll be collecting little tokens that are worth a tiny, tiny little thing. But listen to this. As the value grows, you know how big these companies are, Google, Facebook, whatever. Had you started collecting these tokens back, how many years, how many days, how many months have you been using them? Every time you like somebody, upload a video, watch an advertisement, you will get paid. Let me give you a concrete example. The Brave browser, right? Browser like Chrome, etc. This company, basic attention token, basic attention. By the way, I'm going to be mentioning certain coins. That doesn't mean I'm recommending them. I'm giving you examples, but the likelihood is that I do own them. Not that, you need to go out and buy them, but so BAT, for example, has got this Brave browser. And when you decide, or if you just, there's no advertisement, but if you decide to watch, you will get paid tiny little tokens. Now, as the price grows, which it has been, right? It's grown massively. Then guess what? Your tokens get increase in value. So the biggest transfer of wealth since the internet. So it's not just Mark Zuckerberg that gets paid. Now imagine having done this with Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. How many films have you watched on Netflix and Google before they came to market? How many of you would have loved to have done that? You would have like thousands of these, and they'll be worth so much right now as the prices of these companies. And that's what we're doing in the club. We are looking, this is important now, for the next Facebook of the blockchain, the next Amazon of the blockchain, next Netflix of the blockchain, and Google. That's what we're doing. And I turned a very tiny investment of just $850 into 90,000 in just 9 months. And if we have the time, I would love, I don't know how many of you want me to do this, just to share some of the positions that I'm in. How many of you would love that? And I'm going to go on to Crypto Compare and show you that in just a moment. But before it's a cryptocurrency on an exchange, it actually does something. It has to raise money. So they do something called an ICO or STO or IEO, and some of them have a pre-ICO, pre-ICO. What is that? It's when these programmers, they write a white paper, just like Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a white paper in 2008, right, for Bitcoin, about their new idea and asked you to invest. Well, we'll invest, but we want a big discount. We're getting in that early. 30 cents on the dollar, 3 cents, for example. Now, imagine if you had done this for Bitcoin when it first started 11, 12 years ago. How many of you would have loved to have done that? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Like the gentleman who used 10,000 Bitcoin to buy 2 pizzas. Do you know how much 10,000? Well, 1 Bitcoin, just to give you an idea, 1 Bitcoin is currently worth around, I'll have to check exactly, but around what, $56,000, $57,000, and he used 10,000 to buy 2 pizzas. Can you see how much it's gone up since that time? And they're not the only ones. Look at NXT since its ICO, 184,000%, IOTA 65,000%, Ethereum, right? That Roger meant 54,000%. Now, Spectercoin, here we go. I have actually, I don't know whether I'm on 28,000%. We're going to have a look at the moment. Let's see what's happened to the price of it. But a few days ago, I was at 27,000%. I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. How has all this happened? Why has it happened? Trust. It's gone. People don't trust governments, central banks, and politicians. People are looking for more control in their lives. And, how much control do we really have? Now, Bitcoin was created in direct response back in 2008. What happened there? Do you remember? The financial crisis. It became clear that the few controlled the entire financial system. And if anything happened, we would bail them out, right? We bailed them all out. We have to pay. So Bitcoin, all right, remember, decentralized system is the answer. And so it's going through the blockchain. So the traditional system, so many things are involved. Your bank, their bank, there may be Visa. How many of you use Visa, MasterCard, or PayPal? Now, why is this so important? Because, of course, as Roger was saying, it's a brand new world. PayPal was the first, and you might want to write this down because, and this, I think, write this down because this is going to be really important for you going forward with all your investments. which is no one wants to be the first, right? But no one wants to be the last either. So when PayPal said last year, we are going to start accepting Bitcoin, guess what had to happen? And of course it did. Visa and MasterCard followed suit. And the same with Venmo now, right? They were the latest to do it. So all of these huge companies are now starting to offer that. So, the decentralized your system, it's so much faster and so much cheaper. Let's have a look at some coins here. And again, I'm not recommending them. I'm just giving you some examples. Obviously, you've heard about Bitcoin, but what about the others? What about Zcash, Privacy? What about Ethereum? What about Enigma? What about Tezos? So Ethereum is developing into the world's computer. It's literally blockchain 2.0, and it's looking to scale now. And as it is getting faster and faster, to give you an idea, it's already 5 times faster than Bitcoin, but it's really working on that as well, and launching Ethereum 2.0. And, it has smart contracts on there. And so that's why it is worth so much. It now recently reached an all-time high. And this is really exciting as we are in this bull market. So you're really at the right place at the right time, which is fantastic. Zcash is an example of privacy. No one can interfere or see what you do with your money, which is an amazing in countries like Venezuela or Syria or North Korea or other countries where they have a dictator, and maybe they don't want to necessarily know, they don't want the government to know what is happening with their money because they'll confiscate it. Enigma, this is really interesting because it's decentralizing your data. So many hacks have happened in these databases. Once the guys are in, they can see your social security number, your passport, your date of birth. Here, Enigma is decentralizing that information. So if a hacker does attempt to get in, it can't get at all your data, which is, this is why so many companies are jumping on this. And by the way, Enigma has just rebranded itself to Secret, which is quite interesting, right? Tezos. This is a really interesting company because one of the 5 ways that I'm going to share with you in a moment on how to make money with the blockchain and cryptocurrencies is staking. And Tezos, again, I like Tezos because it really is becoming the backbone of the new order of global finance. You actually can get dividends. Let's call them dividends. Staking is dividends. You can literally get dividends. You can get paid, 2, 3, 4, 5% a year just for holding Tezos. Now, imagine this again. Are there a few 100,000 people, or millions, I would say, who look at the bank and say, well, I'm not making anything there, like MicroStrategy. They have no money at all in the bank. So they took their entire 425,000 and put it into Bitcoin, right? But Tezos will give you 4 or 5% on that instead of nothing in the bank. People are coming over, and Bitcoin has rocketed up over 55 million %. This is why I asked, how many of you would have loved to have been in, And it doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. Again, it is following the stock to flow model. And so that's why we believe we're still at the start. You might say start, Marcus, we were at 3,500 this time last year. We're at 55,000. How can you say that? The real growth hasn't really started. Okay, let's go into some of the strategies, and then I'm going to finish off with, why it's so important for you to be taking advantage of this. And hopefully some of you will want to learn properly. And, like Roger and people like T. Harbecker and others that we are mentoring, Alex Mendosian, etc., that we're mentoring, and Richard from Success Resources that we're actually mentoring, you might want to do the same. So the 5 strategies: investing using CCA, trading using contrarian momentum, etc., etc. I'm going to go through these. Okay, I'm going to go through these. So, for example, and is it okay if just for today, because we've only got limited time today, this is normally a 2.5-hour training, I'm going to try and do this in 90 minutes, is to literally just keep it simple. Okay, just keep it simple for today, if that's okay, in the time that we've got. So, look, I'm going to even make it really a no-brainer. We're going to color code this. Red means no, and green means go. We're going to invest, right? And as you can see here, every month, we are going to invest the same amount of money. Please just write this down as much as you can. Hopefully your family are watching as well. We have so many families doing this together. One has 12 family members together, which is absolutely fantastic. And just imagine that we only get in if next month the price has fallen compared to last month, right? So here it's green for go. And here, what do you think happened here? It's green, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to go, 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 because it's fallen compared to last month. But here in the next one, it has what? It's actually risen, so it's more expensive. Now, in the sales, if something is more expensive, we don't get in. If it's in the sales and it's less expensive, we get in, right? We buy. That's what we're going to do. And we're not going to get in. What are we going to do here? We're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything. But I tell you what we are going to do. Please write this down. We are going to save that money up that we should have invested that month. And we're going to rotate into another coin which has fallen, Now, very important, only in the coins that we as a club have done our research on, right? You don't just want to go into number 5,500, what does it do? No idea, but it's really low. That's the mistake that most people make. And we don't want you to make that mistake. We want you to make money. That's what this is all about, okay? Next month, you can go in. Why? It's on the discount, okay? Next month, we're going to rotate it in another one that's in discount, etc., 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 okay? Now, I'm going to add another layer on here for those of you who are a little bit more advanced. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say to you, hey, how about this? How about, yes, we do invest when it's fallen, but how about this? Why don't we invest when it falls again? But this time, please write this down, we're going to add 25% more money on top so that our average price isn't just in the middle. If I buy here and buy here, it would be in the middle, right? But I'm going to buy a little bit more here, 25% more, just to lower our average price here. Now, please don't go crazy on this. People change the formula all the time. They go, oh, thanks, Marcus, and then they go off and they think they can do it by themselves. They add 100%. Don't do that. Please follow the recipe, follow the formula. Okay, so on this one here, we're going to get in and then it falls again consecutively. So what are we going to do, everybody? We are going to invest what? 25% more money. What if it falls again? What if it falls again? Only on the coins where we've done our research, we're going to, that's right, 25% more even on top of that as well. Okay. All right. So we're going to leave it at that there. Okay. Basic CCA rules. By the way, yes, some of you asked me. Crypto cost average, where every month only invest if it falls versus last month. Do not invest if higher than the previous month. Invest 25% more money than last month if it falls again. Takes just 20 minutes a month. So there's no excuses now for you and your family to start doing this. Now, in the club, we will teach you the advanced rules to really make sure we make the most out of it, which is, first of all, there's a certain percentage that needs to fall before we even get in, because we never want to invest right at the top. The second thing is, have you noticed we always invest at the same price here? The one 35, 34, 35, 34, 35. So what we would do is we will teach you how to invest only if it falls at a certain percentage. And if it falls again, then to really make sure we lower our price. All of these greens here, we probably wouldn't be doing it. We would be rotating into another coin, okay? But for now, if you just want to keep it very simple, you can do. For those of you who want more, obviously, we're going to show you how you can do that. Second way is trading, right? So this means a little bit more time, in, out, a little bit more. We are going for a quick 5%. Please write that down, 5% gain with the contrarian momentum strategy using an indicator, any oscillator. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, but just to let you know, normally an indicator helps you get into a crypto with more accuracy, because what it does is it uses the price movement in the short term and volume, the amount that is being bought and sold. So I'm not going to go into more detail than that, but just to let you know that there are some lines here that are going to be drawn for you. We'll show you how to do that on the charting software. Very, very simple. At the 30 line, which indicates that the crypto is oversold in the near term. Can you see that on the bottom right-hand side? Don't worry about the overbought. We don't use that. We just use the oversold. Can you see the red line at the bottom at the 30? When the indicator dips below that, an indication the crypto is oversold. So let's have a concrete example here. Can you see entry number one at the top here? The reason we got in there is because, can you see below, the indicator fell below the 30 mark. Can you see that? Now, we will get in once, in this example with $250. But rather than getting in with the same amount of money every single time, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the indicator either the crypto now goes up, we take our 5%. Boom. And by the way, with cryptos, that happens very, very quickly. We are going to, that's it. We made our 5%. We're done. Okay. Or the indicator goes, now this is important, please write this down, goes above the 30 and comes back down again a second time. It's very important that it goes up, not just that it stays below. No, then we wouldn't get in. It has to go above and come back down. Then we would get in again with more money. Can you guess how much? Can you guess? We're building a little bit on the other strategy, right? So 25% more money. Oh, I've heard that before. I think I can do this. All right. Now, combined, we now have an average price, don't we? An average price in our position, which the exchange will tell us. Exchange is the name for the broker. A broker in the crypto world is called an exchange. If it then goes up 5%, guess what we do? We take our profits. But if it doesn't, and the price goes down, then if the indicator, again, please write this down, goes above that 30 line, can you see it there at the bottom, the 30 line, and then goes back below the 30 line, we will then get in a third time. We only get in 3 times if that happens. And again, we get in for a third time with, can you guess? More money, how much? Can you guess? 25%. Some of you are getting this. This is amazing. 25% more money, which further brings down our average price for that extra 5%. Now, in cryptocurrencies, and there are specific coins we do that. We do not do this with many coins. There are 2 specific coins that we do this with that have the right amount of volatility and stability. Which kind of stability? Yeah. We need to do your research and make sure that we get that, okay? We're going to invest only if it falls below the 30 level, okay? Now, invest 25% more money each time the indicator goes above and below. Very important. Doesn't take very long at all. These movements, by the way, can happen in hours or days. It happens very, very quickly. We started off conceptualizing this. Obviously, I've been trading for over 20 years, so we can create strategies quite quickly. However, whether they work or not over time is another question. So in 2018, we started there conceptualizing it, and then we went on demo for January, February, March, 4 months. Then we went live with real money 2019. We've been doing this for the last almost 3 years now. No, 2 years, coming up to 2 years now, working extremely well. So that's the second strategy. The third strategy is staking, right? So this is so simple to do. When we did a webinar together with Roger, he literally, we together, we kind of showed you how to do it. You can do it on the exchanges, for example, or you can just do it yourself, which is very, very simple to do. You will get 3%, 4%, 5%. Some of them are offering 6 to 20% per year, per annum. It's just like dividends, getting paid for not selling, for being loyal and holding that there. Now, you can buy things like Stake Master, for example. This is one we used a couple of years back, which was quite good. But the problem is they will then take some of the percentage. Like any good agent, they will take some of the money. So if you really want to make the most out of this, you will learn how to do it yourself. And it really does add up, because let's say you get 5% on BNB, for example, which is Binance Coin itself, which I've been holding since 2017 and keep getting in. And that's the position that's really gone up the most for me, because they are burning some of their tokens. And that means there's less and less and less. That means scarcity is so important. That's something I'm going to be talking about in a moment. I'm going to show you this position. You are going to say, wow, how can I do this as well? And so when you do the staking yourself, you will reach not only the percentage gains, but as like the BNB, the token goes for, I don't know, it was at $8. Now it's at just around the $500. That's a big increase in just a few years. If that is the case, then that means that you get more percentage on a larger amount of money as well. So really don't discount this, because it is a great way of making money. Now, one of the most popular ways of making money is to get in early. Get in really early, at the startup phase. But how do you do that? Because don't you have to wait till it gets on an exchange? No, because do you remember the ICOs? Sometimes they do a pre-ICO or pre-ICO or a private sale. You get massive discounts, 50%, up to 80% sometimes. but you do have to pay a lot of money. You know, they're not just going to give you 50% if you come in with a couple of thousand. You might have to put in 50,000, 100,000, right? How many of you would love that, to get in early, like on Facebook, Google, etc., right? But they're going to ask you for a lot of money. So listen, how about this? What about if we pool our money together? This is what we do in your crypto club. We have a buyers club where, let's say you put in 100, you know, I'll put in 200, Roger puts in 300, maybe a couple of other people get in with 300, 200, 400, whatever it is. And together we pool our money, and now we have the 50,000. Then we go to this new startup and we say, okay, here is the 50,000. They say, oh, great. And then they give us that discount, and then every single one of us gets that discount. How many of you would love to be part of that, to make sure you never miss out on that? How many of you would love to do that? That's what we do, you know, to make sure that we do. And we are in some cracking one, like Dusk, for example, which is a really good one. The other one, INX. The other one is, what's it called? Casper Labs, which is just about to go on exchanges. Very, very exciting indeed. So number 5 is investing in public companies which are taking advantage of the blockchain technology, right? So you might not want to get into cryptos, although I don't know why not, but let's just say you didn't. Well, you can take advantage by buying public companies. You know, when Facebook says it's going to launch its own, coin like DM, for example, you can get into that just on the stock exchange. You know, the ICE that launched Backed, for example, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan, right? The big naysayers of 2017 are now offering cryptocurrencies to their high net worth individuals. It's all happening. Visa card, MasterCard, all of these. That's the way to do it. But with a strategy, please, with a strategy. I beg you, please don't just get into any old coin. Please do your research. We'll help you with that. But also with a strategy. A strategy needs to tell you when to get in, where to get in. The two are very different. When to get out with a loss, when to get out with a gain, yeah, and how much money to invest. 5 rules you do need to know. We told you Bitcoin has rocketed up 55,000%, but I need you to know that it is very volatile. It can go down 89% in the past, like in 2011, and then went up 6,600%. I always say, I don't mind it going down 89% when that happens, you know. And then it could go down 51%. You know, what would you do? Imagine that you bought something that went down 51%. Well, in June 2013, that's what happened. But then by the end of the year, it went up 1,000%. And then it went up down 73%. What would you do now if it went down 73%? I'm just preparing you for what to do. Now, we have a strategy here which has made us so much money. January 2015, and then it went up in the next 2 years, 8,000%. 8,000% went up from, you know, in 1 year, it actually went from 1,000 to 20,000. Imagine that, 20 times your money, 20 times your, imagine your money, 20 times that. Now, then it went down 82%. Again, what would you do? What would you do? Well, I tell you what we told our members of Crypto Club what to do. Right? We told them what we said. It's going to go to 100,000. Well, there are people. I'll introduce you Cornelius in a moment. He apparently hated me 2018, 2019 when he was following our strategy. But now he loves us. He loves us because he has an extra 500,000 in his account, which he didn't have before. You know, and this is somebody who never had any money. Honestly, he was always struggling. So now he has 500,000. He's basically financially independent. Because we have been showing this slide for the last 3 years. And people said we were crazy. And the stock to flow model is one reason, but there are other reasons. I'm going to share those with you in just a moment. And yes, I will show you my account. Don't worry, I will do that. Listen, there are a number of cryptos that have all the potential that Bitcoin did. And this guy really, really is the person that I always remember. You know, when you say, if he can do it, I can do it. That's what I do with Eric Finman. He started investing in Bitcoin at 12 years old. At the time, worth over 6 million. He's worth over 35 million now. If he can do it, I can do it. That's what I always say. And that's the way I'm going to invite you to think about this as well. You know, if they can do it, I can do it. And I turned a tiny investment of 815 to 90,000 in just 9 months. I took profits all the time as well. You got to milk the cow. We also milk the cow. Milk the cow. Don't watch it go up and come back down. That is such a big mistake. Make sure you milk the cow. We'll show you how to do that. Right? In 2017, I invested, I started off with 1,000, but I kept investing. 156 turned to 824. It actually went higher than that. But look at this on the right-hand side. Look at my positions. Can you see that? 10,000%, 4,000%, 3,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1,000. This was my account at the time. Don't worry, I am going to show you my account now. I am going to show you my account. But look at this. And these were all the positions. In my 20 years, I had never seen anything like this. And I thought, wow, I am now. I mean, I was already making money there, but now I am going to take this super seriously, which I hope you are doing as well. I think we're just at the beginning. Where do you think we are, by the way? There's Everett M. Rogers has this great schematic. When you have a look at the bell curve, where do you think we are? Do you think we're at innovators, early adopters, early majority? I think we're at the beginning. Where do you think we are? I think we're around here. I think we're a little bit to the right of that now. I think we're starting to encroach early majority just because, you know, the big boys are now getting in and offering it to so many people. It's now starting. And you want to get in, right? You want to get in. You want to get in before. Can you see that technological liftoff? You want to get in before that happens, right? Because only a few million people own a Bitcoin compared to the rest of the world. So please make sure you get in before the rest of the huge games come. Because, you know, we already covered decentralization, big profits, big growth, we just covered, but also protection against the crisis. What crisis? Whoa, have you not noticed? I mean, we are in a crisis right now. It's all being propped up by forced money printing. And, you know, the bird does come home to roost at some stage. And when it does, you will be very, very safe with crypto. Some people are even saying that people are getting out of gold and going into cryptos. That might be the case, but I like to diversify. You know, just like Roger teaches, asset allocation is so important, so important. But what about these reasons? Let's quickly go into these, and then I'm sure you have some questions. Institutions that are getting in. Because in 2017, there was no infrastructure, right? Then Fidelity, TD Ameritrade. Look at this. Just these two companies alone, 38 million users. Forget about, you know, wallets and transferring it and keeping it safe. They've got platforms where their users just go on there, press a button, and they bought Bitcoin. They're building it right now. Same with Morgan Stanley. You've heard the announcement. Citigroup, ICE, I'd mentioned earlier. The owner of the New York Stock Exchange is building a platform. Governments are getting in on the action. They have to. China's already launched theirs, right? So that no one wants to be left behind. Remember, no one wants to be what? What did I say? No one wants to be first, but no one wants to be last either. You know, my personal mentor, I've been trading and investing for 21 years. He's been doing it for 31 years. And I pay him big bucks to make sure that those 10 years extra get put into my pocket, you know. I pay him so that I make a lot more money. And he says we'll see a flood of institutional money pour in. But, and this is what I love, it won't compare to anything that we've seen so far, including the 2017 crypto rally. Now, this blew my mind because it went from 1,000 to 20,000. Not compared to, wow. So, which was almost entirely driven by you and me, private investors, because when the institutions get in, you know that Tesla went in with 1.5 billion. How much are you getting in with? Not 1.5 billion, right? We put in thousands. They're getting in with big money. And that's why there is huge upside, right? The crypto market is tiny. When a lot of money gets into something tiny, what tends to happen, right? And that's why the window of opportunity is still open. It's still open. But as Roger knows only too well, it is closing. It is closing. That is why he asked me to come on and share this information with you, because he wants as many success stories as possible, as many people taking advantage of this with their friends and families before that window closes. Now, most people don't know this, but, well, I think you know this, right? 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined, meaning scarcity. But how many of this is mined? How many of this? We are mining like crazy, right? Crazy. This is worth less and less and less. That's why Bitcoin is going up. That's why it's following, you know, the stock to flow model. That's why. But in addition, there's something written in the protocol, which is genius, which is every 4 years, the Bitcoin that goes into the market is halved. Suddenly, boom, halved, right? So now you have a supply and demand problem. Think about it. The supply is boom, halved. Wow, right? And when that happens, guess what happens to the coins? Some of them go up 200,000%, 300,000%, you know, and there's a lag time behind that. There is a lag time. It doesn't happen immediately because the last, what's called the halving, boom, happened in May of last year. generally between 8 to 18 months, that's when it starts happening. Well, we're in that window right now. So you are really literally in the right place at the right time, which is why, Roger just said, well, we weren't even planning on doing this, but because of what's happening right now, I need to tell my people, I need to tell my tribe, I need to tell as many people as possible. So the question really is, this is what I asked myself, can I really afford to miss out on this? And I said to myself, no way, And by the way, the other reason is, people don't know this, is Bitcoin will be used as a hedge. A global survey, they do this every year. They asked fund managers, are you getting in? 36% said, we're in the process already, right? 91 expect to have at least 0.5% of their portfolio. We're talking about trillions here allocated to digital assets within 1 year. Wow. That's it, game over. What are they going to start with? Bitcoin and Ethereum, but then they're going to go to the others. Grayscale has already, you can look it up, the ones that Grayscale are investing in. No one wants to be the first, right? Well, Paul Tudor Jones was the first. Billionaire, committed 2% of his net worth. Others can now follow, right? They can point to MicroStrategy. They can point to Michael Saylor and say, well, he did it, now we can do it. They can point to Tesla, who put in 1.5 billion. Well, if he can do it, we can do it. So this is what I'm saying. And because it's before the real big boys are getting in, they're saying we will 0.5%, and then it's going to be 1%, and then more, right? So you are getting in, listen to this, before Wall Street. Never happened before. Never, ever happened before. First time in the history of Wall Street that you can get in before then. And you can do it just doing it from home. All you need is a computer. It's as simple as learning to use Amazon. Do you remember back then? I was sweating when I first used it. I'm like, how do I use this thing, right? Look, we're going to make a lot of money with Bitcoin. But please understand this, please. We are looking at where is the next Bitcoin. How many of you want to get in to the next Ethereum? That's what we're doing in your crypto club. We are literally looking at the next generation. And that is why it's literally a no-brainer decision, because the risk-reward ratio is so huge. It's so huge. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I am going to show it to you. I'm going to show you you're going to go, I get it now. Because we really are still at the start of an enormous bull market. And if you're still not convinced for whatever reason, you don't have to, because we're going to be trading it up and down. Remember, the way number 2 that we're going to make money is by trading using the contrarian momentum strategy. Now, with your permission, in the time left, and then we're going to go to the Q&A, what I'd really love to do is I'd love to share with you why is it that we're working together with Roger and his team. Why is that? And really, it is your crypto club. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you are going to get, the new members, what you're going to get in just 20 minutes a day. And that is a step-by-step guide to profiting from investing, okay, trading, startup, all the things that I just went, but really in detail so that you really learn it and take advantage of it. The first one is how to get started with cryptos and how to profit. It's an A to Z video course, which I have to say I'm very proud of. It covers all aspects of getting started in cryptos and how to make a profit. You'll sit next to me and watch as I open the best crypto accounts, exchanges, cryptocurrency exchanges, fiat exchanges, setting them up, setting up the wallets, sending my coins, all the strategies in depth. We have learning videos where you just need to watch. Then we have doing videos where you need to do it together with your family, and much, much more. Okay, we've already done all the work for you. All you have to do is literally do as I do it. You can pause it when you need to. This is the beauty of it. It is a 1 year program where you are going to be supported by us. You can watch the videos again and again as often as you like. I would encourage you to do it with your family. We have a family that have 12 family members. They have the grandparents, they have the aunts and uncles and the parents, and they have the children. The youngest child is 12 years old. What a blessing to learn this at that age. The future of finance, the biggest transfer of wealth since the internet. But you don't just get the videos, you get everything on audio. So when you're traveling, remember the learning videos? Well, the learning ones you don't need to watch, right? So what you can do is you can actually listen to them again while you're on the go. Oh, it saves so much time. I love saving time, and you will learn even faster. Speed it up, 1.5 speed, right? But that's not all. We also have every 2 weeks live. We will discuss which cryptos we're getting into and why, right? Which ICOs we're getting into and why, right? We do the research for you. And so you learn, because why are we getting in? Then you can decide, do you want to get in or not? So use our knowledge. You can get in before the big movements happen. And all the trainings will then be recorded, and the next day will be on the club for you. So you never have to miss out ever. Some people like to watch it several times, right? Then we have the interviews. Oh my goodness, we need to be at the cutting edge. So every month we interview an expert covering crypto, ICO, blockchain trends, so that we're always involved in decentralized finance. So we're involved in non-fungible tokens. What's the next thing we want to be in? To meet entrepreneurs launching ICOs. Imagine, listen, this is my goal. I'd love to know whether you're with me on this. The next Facebook of the blockchain, Amazon of the blockchain, Google of the blockchain. I want that. I've done it 27,000%. I want 100,000%. How many of you are with me here? We want to get in. Facebook might have gone, but let's get into the next generation, and let's do it together. All interviews are put on the club, and you can watch or listen to them while you're on the go. And then my personal mentors. I pay $10,000 a year to have experts mentor me. I've got 2 for cryptos, 1 for ICOs, 1 for blockchain, and I will pass on every time I get into something. This is how it works. I'll look at the research. If I get in, I will pass that on to you. I will pass it on to you. Now, just to give you one example, that 850 I turned to 90,000? That was from my mentor back in 2017. He said, get into NEO. I said, what's NEO? He said, well, it's kind of like the Ethereum of China. It's like Chinese version of Ethereum. I thought, okay, I put a small amount, 850, turned that into 90,000, milked it all the way up, took money off the table. Very important. We'll teach you how to do that. So you get access to this. People love this, the pre-ICO buyers club. Do you remember the big discounts if you get in early? But you have to invest large sums of money. Okay, most people can't afford it. So we're going to pool our money together to be able to take advantage of private and pre-sale discount. So you never have to miss out on private or pre-ICO discount. Who's with me on this? Who wants to take advantage on this? Absolutely amazing. Then you can sell them when it's on an exchange, or like us, you sell a part of it, right? And what? Let the rest go. And then in the meantime, you've got questions. So between the webinars and interviews, you get answers, share information on the forum, combine knowledge of all the club members. We're going to use those. Everyone helps and supports everyone. We're going to maintain momentum, quick answers, tip tricks, techniques, and much, 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 much more. People love this. Members only Telegram group, direct to your mobile phone, You're going to have regular updates directly, which cryptocurrencies we're buying, which ICOs we're buying. But can you see on the right-hand side, this example? We don't just put it on your phone. We actually draw, what are the entry levels that we're getting into. Does that make sense? We can't tell you what to do, but we can can you see the example? We can surely tell you what we're doing, right? So you never have to miss out the trade of the day. Whatever we get in, you get in. So you can log into the club, or you can just get it on your phone right there and then. So you always know what to do when you're doing it, right? But that's not all. Okay, this is the final thing. You're going to love this. Wow. Our USP, people ask us, what makes you so different to others out there? Support. Support. Why? Because most people are new to this. You need the support, right? You've got questions, right? We know this. So here's some of our team. Eamon on the left-hand side, right? Trading for 6 years here. Eamon here. Keith on the right-hand side, trading for 5 years. You should see his account, how it's grown. 30 minutes, 3 days per week. You just come on, ask your questions, leave again if you want to, or say, you never get stuck. You get the support, accessible to all, ideal for beginners. You can just jump on, ask your question. Oh, this exchange is saying this. What do I do? Oh, I can't open my wallet. What do I do? Oh, I'm having this. Just jump in. Absolutely fantastic. So it's a real club supporting you for 1 whole year. So what is this worth? This is the value, right? So A to Z, how to profit from cryptos, the online course, but all the updates. Don't forget the updates throughout the year as well. Bi-weekly live crypto ICO screening webinars there, monthly live expert interviews, taking advantage of my personal mentors, right? Your crypto club, private discussion club, private Telegram group, direct on your phone, the live group coaching 3 times a week. Somebody's written that's worth 1,497 for a whole year. I think it's worth a lot more than that, my friends. But okay, I can't even put a price on this one. The pre-ICO buyers club, getting into the Facebooks and the Googles of the blockchain that early. I can't even put a price on that. So the value, this is the value, of course, 18,883 is the value, right? It's not what you're going to pay. That's the value of it. For you, and this is what we normally do here at webinar, is 3,997. Now, I say normally, but the reason I'm saying that is because Roger always wants to make sure that you get the absolute best deal for his tribe, okay? But that's the at webinar normally, 3,997. And the reason, by the way, it's worth this much is if you check us out on Trustpilot, we're actually the highest rated trading and investing club in the UK. 471, check them out, 471 reviews. And it's what they're saying. It's their profits, 30% profit in 4 months, 80% profits in 7 months, 8% in a few days, 176 on Hedera here. But it's this, look at this. I've been in the crypto space since 2013, but I have learned in 2 months what I didn't know in 7 years. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing. Okay. So for example, the whole team tries to provide you as much learning stuff as possible, helping with everything in case if you have a that's what I like to see. I was up 283% on my crypto portfolio. I like that as well. Amazing, caring people are always willing to go the extra mile. Amazing, really good, beautiful, helping team. I'm hoping that you're getting a sense of how we at your crypto club are going to help you on your journey going forwards. Okay, awesome program, recommending it to everybody. Host great team, superb event, world-class trainer, follow-up support from you and your team is second to none. My best investment. Do you know how many people have said that? My best investment ever. And some of them say, well, my second investment because I'm married, and my wife's listening. Okay, so people, they're investing 20,000 and they're making 15,000 profit. Florin here, he started with 1,000, and it was 10,000 and 44,000. If you're busy, this is Lou here. He has a chain of dentists. He's so busy, he still has time for 20 minutes a day. He turned 8,000 into 18,000. By the way, that's without the ICOs. Helen here now has taken this profit. She's now building her own house. She's always wanted to do that. That's without the ICOs. Tally here started with 15,000. She's up at 41,000. Now that's, this is the guy that hated me for so long, 2018, it's like, Marcus, I'm losing my, I said, listen, you have to understand. It went from 1,000 to 20,000. Give it time. These pullbacks are natural. That's why there was no panic. When it just went from 64,000 or 62,000, depending on the exchange, down to 50,000, I didn't panic. It is good. It's part of it. This guy now, after hating me, he just kept following Marcus's strategies. He's now up, actually updated, he's up over €500,000 now. Okay, I could not have done this without the support of the club and the motivation to keep going. My next step is to have more money than Marcus. That's what I always say to people, have more money than me. This is Dennis here. Some of you know Dennis because he's helping me in the club now. He started with just 2,000 and he kept adding, and then 20,000 is what he invested. His account is now worth 257,000. I did promise you something. I'm going to show this to you now. Hopefully we have the time to do that. We have the time to do that. Just very, very quickly, if that's okay with you, I want to share this with you. Let's see whether I can quickly do this. I promised to share my account. So let's have a look here. Stop share. Look at these positions here. And I'm going to share something very important. Now, where did I put it? Oh, let me just see. Sorry about this, guys. Let's have a look. Okay, it's here. All right. Okay. How do I do this? Share screen. Okay. Here we go. Share. Okay. All right. Hopefully you can see this. Please give me some feedback if you can't. But can you see here on the right-hand side? 26, can you see this? 26,900, shall we say 27,000? 27,000%. Have you, for 21 years, I've been trading and investing. And so by the way, this is all part of the club, right? So every 2 weeks we show you this. Actually, what do you mean every 2 weeks? in the club, there's actually an update all the time, but we just go through it every 2 weeks during the course. So you know exactly what we're getting into. Now, look at this, 27,000%. But then it's not just a one-off. You have 14,000%. This was Aave. I bought into Aave 1 year and 3 months ago. This is what can happen. 14,000. It's not a one-off. 10,000%. 8,000. Now imagine your money, 4,000%. You're putting it into this, you're putting into that. Great, keep going. Please put some into cryptos with strategies and the right ones. There's 3 parts to any strategy. 3 parts? What am I saying? 5 parts. Okay. 5 parts. You need to learn them. Okay, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. But this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I want to show you. Look, can you see? Please lean in, and can you see how much money I invested? Because some people are saying, yeah, but you have a lot of money. Well, no, because look, total invest. Can you see that? Can you see that? Total invested. I'll move it around here. Total invested is how much? Can you write it down? 2,100. Now that 2,100, okay, took 3 years, is now 500,000. Okay, well, all right. Well, what about this one here? I put 100 in. This actually was a mistake. I meant to put 1,000. I got the calculation. See, you can even make mistakes and make money. I put in 100 instead of 1,000. That is now worth 14,000 in just a year and 3 months. You can do this. Do you know this? Eric Fillman, if he can do it, I'm going to encourage you to do that. If he can do it, I encourage all my members. And that's why Corny, he's after me. I know he is, because I know him now. I know him. He's so competitive, right? He is after this. I know he is. Look at this. 991 is now 100,000. Look at this. 500 is now 46,000. Can you do this? Yes, you can, right? My members are doing this. 593 is now 29,000. All right. 1,400 is now 65,000. You get the idea. You get the idea. So it's clear you can do this. But I want you to see this. Look at this. I don't want you to think, oh, Marcus, you're just showing us a few. Now look at this. Look at this. 4,000, 3,000, 2,900, 2,800, 2,500, 2,400, 1,900. Can you see this? 1,600. This is not just 1 or 2 positions. This is not, please, you've got to understand. And you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. You're going to be doing this with your children. You're going to be doing it with your family. You're going to be doing this with the people that you care about, right? And some positions, are worth a lot. Some of them aren't. This is worth 146. This is only worth 8,000. It's the percentages. People say, yeah, but what about your losses? Of course I have losses. Of course I have losses. But the losses are small. If I invest, how much? Look, just get anyone, it doesn't matter which one. Okay, here 1,000. Here, how much? 900. Okay, how much here? All right, 3,000. Okay, let's say 3,000. Oh, Ethereum. Yeah, I have 11 positions in Ethereum. That's just one of them. Let's say you put in. This is the highest amount I've shown you, right? 3,000. Let's say I lost it all. What does it matter if I'm making these gains? 6,000. Look at this, 8,000, 500,000. Does that make sense? This is why I say risk-reward ratio. The risk-reward ratio, RRR, write that down. The risk-reward ratio is so amazing when it comes to cryptocurrencies. That is what I am talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's have a look. We are here. Let's finish this off because I'm sure you have lots of questions. Let's have a look here. And hopefully you can now see this. All right. Yeah, and that's why they're saying, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. All of my members are like that. I encourage you to do exactly the same. Now, here's the problem. The problem is, though, is that most people, hopefully not you, right? Hopefully not you. You're different. You're part of Roger's tribe. You're different. You've got that education. But most people, they hear this information. They don't do anything with it. They don't. The vast majority will see that. They're excited. They're like, I want to do this. They believe, they know it's the biggest transfer of wealth since the internet, right? They know it's a great opportunity. But they, for whatever reason, think it's for other people. They don't take action. Becoming rich is not. Who are these other people? It's for you. All you need to know is how to do it. That's all you need. A to Z. how you can profit from the biggest tech revolution since the internet. And that is exactly, step by step, for a whole year, supported what your crypto club delivers. So you know this, right? Do not stand on the sidelines in the biggest transfer of wealth since the internet, while other people get in just to miss out. And forget about it, in 20 years, in 2 years, wonder what happened. There's a time in your life when you have to say, now it's my time. Yes, those other people made the money, but you've got to realize they're not more intelligent than you. They're not more hardworking than you. They're not, cleverer than you. They're not smarter. They're not better looking. None of those things. They just took action. That's it. Quite simple. That's the secret. Okay. So if you're willing to do that, then I am also willing to do whatever it takes to help you. And Roger is as well. You know that of him. So we said the 1-year membership of your crypto club, total value here, 18,883. We already said, look, normally 3,997. And we talked literally just before here, before coming on here, and we said, look, let's do something here very, really, really special. Let's help. Let's make sure now is the time. So for you, it's not 3,997. We're doing a webinar special. This is in pounds. It's 1,997 plus VAT for everybody on this webinar, which is amazing, for a whole year. But this is what we talked about just before. We literally said there's going to be an exclusive offer of this group, which is this. For this group here, you don't even pay. That's a no-brainer, by the way. It is what we call a crisis special because of the pandemic, because it's right now, it is just 1,497. Now notice this is in dollars. This is in dollars. So it's not just 1,497 pounds, which is great, but $1,497. And I'm not even sure you have to pay VAT on this because of where you are buying this. Okay, now this is, and we agreed this immediately before, like 5 minutes before we came up, this is for the first 50 people only. And you don't need to be technologically savvy to profit from this. Okay, you've got the A to Z guys, a guide for this. If you're on this webinar, if you need help, can I talk to anybody? Absolutely. You have Eamon, you have Keith, we have the forum, we have the grouping coach. You're always supported. The more you ask, the more you help. This is what we said, the first 50 who register. And I don't know whether there's a link on here or how it happens. I'm sure Danny will show us in a moment. But we are also, for the first 50 only, your spouse and children learn with you for free. There's an extra value here of 497. Now it's an absolute no-brainer. It was before, right? Because I don't want anybody saying, hey, can my husband also watch the videos? Of course. Hey, can my children get involved in this? Can they ask questions on the forum? Can they be on the calls? Absolutely, absolutely. Learn together, support each other. And not only that, what we're going to do is this. We're going to give you this, okay? For the first 50 who register, you get this. You get a video report. You're going to love this. The 3 cryptos that we think are the ones that are going to explode the most. Right. And we're getting this right so far. In the other report that we did, you check out some of the ones we put on there, like Chainlink, for example. Wow. So they're the newest ones, right? The newest ones right now that we think. The 3 cryptos to $1 million. You're going to get our old report as well. OK, but the newest one comes out next week. So you're going to get that as well, that we think are going to catapult you to millionaire status if you're not already. And the 3 best dividend crypto. This is priceless. This is priceless for the first 50 people who register. And finally, action taker bonus number 3, quick start onboarding webinar. Let's get you started live. We're going to do this next week immediately. All of you, all 50 of you, we're going to do this. All right. Sorry if you didn't manage to get in. This is for the first 50. We're going to do this live. Dennis and myself, he's now working with me to help all of you. He actually moved from Sweden to be with us to help all of you. That's an extra value of 370. So you're not stuck, keeping that momentum. All right. So I'm going to hand over to Roger because I think there is a link or something or a way of doing it, but I think he's got more goodies. Roger, right? He's always got better things for you as well. Hey, Roger.
Marcus, thanks so much for that. You're going to be taking some Q&A as well, right? I think
yes, of course.
So let me do this. If you drop your screen for a second, I'd love to share my screen and just share with everyone who's on. So we're about to get into the Q&A section. What I think is so important here is really understanding that on the one hand, there's the income side of this, and there's also the impact side of what's going to be happening as well. And just to highlight, some of you may or may not know that it's actually the 10th anniversary of when Nakamoto Satoshi actually disappeared. It was exactly in April 2011, and at that point, Bitcoin was at 30 cents. 30 cents. So this here is a YouTube video I did recently. World's first trillionaire, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Satoshi Nakamoto, because obviously he's got over 1 million Bitcoin, even though he's disappeared for 10 years, his account has got over 1 million Bitcoin, which means that once it hits 1 million, which is 2026, he becomes a trillionaire, right? And there's a really interesting video, which I will post in here as well, which is of Metakovan. He's a 32-year-old programmer that 4 years ago really had no money at all. Even today, even though he is worth over $100 million as a result of investing in NFTs and in Ethereum, he basically has never bought a car, never bought an apartment, because he's invested it all into the metaverse, right? Like, he's the guy who actually bought Beeple's artwork for $69 million. And here he actually explains how the reason he did it and the reason he's not taking the money out of crypto is because there's still an American dream, but the American dream is no longer in America. The American dream is now online. It's the metaverse. It's the fact, it's just like at the beginning when America was created, when people were going over there and earning US dollars, they weren't bringing them back into Europe. They were actually using it to then build America. And the same is now happening with this whole new world that's actually being created. So even if you're just interested in that, like on the one hand, yeah, for sure, the money is going up in value. But secondly, just being part of something which is the very first time in over 250 years that we've seen a birth of a new nation, which really is this entire imagination, right? It's a nation which is not even created and is actually getting created out of nothing. This is really what's happening right now, which is what's so exciting. And so what I do want to say for everybody, where you've been listening to what Marcus has been talking about, look, like we actually skipped over on this call the parts about, well, which are the best exchanges and how do you set up your wallet? This is one of the things that I was doing before I actually met with Marcus, was I was already investing in crypto, but I was doing most of my stuff on Coinbase and so on. And then Marcus was going through exactly, as one of the first things I do on the Crypto Club, how you set up on the right exchanges that are going to be best for you, how you actually set that up with the right wallets, for example. So for example, I went out and I got myself a ledger, which actually allows me to actually now have my own hardware wallet, a whole bunch of stuff that I just didn't know about, right? Like, even though I heard about it, I had never done it. And they actually take you step by step with the course that they do and the ways they actually answer all your questions, which has really helped me massively. So what you'll see down below here, I'll just give you a bit of a navigation. And then after this, we'll get back to Marcus for some of the Q&A. Basically down below, you'll see, as well as having this download. So like from here, where everyone's been commenting, and it's great to see all the comments on here, you'll see down below, it actually explains everything Marcus just explained of what we're doing specifically for those of you who are a part of the Impact Investor Festival. We were going to be basically just talking about this next week, but there was so much interest from our own community. We said, okay, let's actually give everyone an opportunity while things are moving every week like a lifetime in the crypto world. Let's do this today, which is why by you coming on today and be part of this is awesome. I know some of you listening to recording, some of you listening live, but this actually explains everything that Marcus has just been saying. There's a button here, which is join the club. And when you click on that, this one here is everything Marcus just explained as well. And down below, it's really simple. You just join, it takes you through, you can then book, you can pay, and then the actual next steps are where the team then gets straight in and gets you started this week, right? So you don't have to wait until the summit before this happens. The second thing is that you will also see that for really any of you where you go, look, this sounds really interesting, but I have my questions, right? Or this sounds interesting, but like, is it really the right thing for me? You'll see that there's a link down on the bottom here as well, which says book a call. This allows you can see it's at the very bottom, to just put your details in and then basically click to book a call. And Marcus has a team where, again, there's not a huge amount of capacity, but like he's actually got his team this week to have a call with anyone who's interested in this. Obviously, if the 50 places go before that, then we're going to have to wait until the next round. But if you really are not sure at the moment if this is right for you, then just go ahead and book that call. And at least you then have that conversation. You can even have a conversation today, tomorrow. But I really recommend that. Like, this is, I can't urge enough. Like, going from 30 cents in 10 years to $57,000. Another way to look at that, if we come back to this, is if you're holding on to fiat currency right now, and this is the amount of actual currency that's been printed by the central banks, over the last 10 years, this is ridiculous. I mean, like, basically, if what you could buy for 30 cents now costs you $57,000, that's the equivalent of the US dollar having dropped against Bitcoin by 99.9995%. This is very real. Like, you can't even buy for 1 cent what you could buy for $1 before, right? Not even 0.001 cent. It's crazy. And this is because of this whole new world that's actually growing right now. So this here allows you to actually just click. It's all down below, right? And one other thing I just want to highlight is that down where everything that Marcus just explained, this whole package which he does, and is why he has so many people in his crypto club, where he actually does the whole aspect of no matter which level you're at, you get to see exactly what you need to do. You're doing it at your pace. You can do it with your family. You can do it in a way that actually allows you to be inside the ICO club as well. So you're actually getting the very, very best advice. And believe me, whatever the advice is today will be different a month from now because things are moving so quickly in that world. But whatever question is like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Someone actually posted a question or a comment, which is, what happened to Tesla? You know how Tesla bought a $1.5 billion and then they were then saying, well, it sounds like they actually sold some of it. Elon Musk has clarified that, right? We've actually just posted this link down there where Elon Musk owns his own Bitcoin. He hasn't sold any of it. Tesla bought 1.5 billion in January. They then sold just 10% of that and they registered that $100 million gain. They didn't register the gain for the rest of it because by SEC finance rules, you're not allowed to show an actual capital gain until you sell something. But that actually means that the other 90% that they bought has actually made them $1 billion in 3 months. That's 3 times more than all of the profit they made from the cars that they sell. This is just a totally new world that we're actually living in right now. And so, your ability to be able to actually just tap into the same kind of things that we're doing right now, what frankly Elon Musk is doing right now, is all part and parcel of what we're talking about here as well. So what we did was we said, okay, as well as putting in all of Marcus's program, and you saw how much his program costs normally to come and be part of it, we also said, look, we already have our own mastermind group. We're just going to package it all together. So if you're already part of our mastermind group, this already is all part of this too, which means you're getting us going through each month ourselves also what we're learning and how we're actually making an impact out of this. So if you're a part of our mastermind, you will know that actually it was only, I think a couple of weeks ago, that we were having sessions which were in the mastermind. You can see this one here, the Crypto Hour, where we were actually doing our own commentary on if you want to make a difference in environment, you want to make a difference in education, what are the actual cryptos you can get involved in that does all that, right? And I'm also doing a bunch of different interviews about what's happening with the end of the banking system. So I just had an interview here with Scott Picken, who Marcus mentioned, and also with Chad Pope, who both of them basically have found ways to actually start being part of this whole DeFi or decentralized finance movement, which is transforming everything. So we're going from the world, as I keep on saying, of the capitalization of democracy to now what's happening, which is the democratization of capital, right? And it's a whole new world that we're living in right now as well. So we packaged all that in as well. We said, okay, let's just put all that in as well. If you're already part of the mastermind, this means you get a 12-month extension on your mastermind as well. So effectively, it means you're either getting the mastermind free or you're getting Marcus's crypto club for free. It's either way, you're getting both of them. And we also give you a VIP ticket to come along for our summit, which is next week, Thursday and Friday. And on that summit, Marcus is going to be back actually speaking more about cryptocurrencies. But on that summit, we also have some amazing speakers who are going to be joining us as well. So just to give you an idea, this here is the summit page. And you don't have to go book a ticket here because you're already going to have one. But in here, you're going to see that the people we have who are coming are all of our mentors that have been part of our micro school. So Simon Zucci is going to be on talking about what's happening with the property side, Mark Robinson. But we also have Patrick Grove, who is my mentor. He just did a $250 million SPAC. He's in his 40s and he's worth over $500 million. And he's listed 8 companies. He's going to be sharing exactly what he's doing in the markets right now. And he's the one who advised us on actually doing an IPO in New York. And so we're going to have some incredible people that are going to be actually sharing, and you get all that for free. The VIP session includes a number of other things in here as well. But that all is part and parcel of just deciding that you're going to come join us in learning about crypto and learning from everything that Marcus has to share as well. So if that sounds compelling, well, first of all, either join the club by clicking on the button, or if you really can't do that right now, but you really want to, book a call. So at least you don't miss the opportunity of being part of this special session we put here as well. So with that, Marcus, I'll hand it back to you to take some of the questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Roger. How do I actually see the questions? Sorry, I'm being a thicker.
I think Danny was saying that you have someone on the team that was collecting questions for you. Was that correct, or did we miss that?
Yes, Matt is supporting.
Sorry, Danny?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, Matt is supporting on your side, Marcus.
Okay.
So Marcus, do you have Matt there?
No.
Okay. So it sounds like Matt's been collecting your questions. Do you have contact with Matt or not?
I can ring him.
Oh, okay. Danny, have you collected any of the questions off here? Or do you have contact with Matt? Because I think
yeah, there's some questions here that I can definitely raise. So the first one is in terms of the 1497, Marcus, is that a once-off or is that for the year?
That is for the entire year. Yeah, absolutely, for the entire year. Yeah, it's a one-off. Yeah.
And the second question about how much would someone need to be investing on a monthly basis?
That is a really good question, because like in the world of stocks, I would be saying, you really do need to have at least, $2,000 or euros to start investing. But in cryptos, it's just a totally different world. You could start off with 500. Obviously, the more you have, the more it makes sense. But as you're learning, and there's even demo accounts, you actually don't even need money sometimes. But I would start off with a minimum of $500, euros, etc. And I love the idea, actually. The reason it's such a good question is because I love the idea of keep adding more every single month. Because some people, they kind of say, well, I don't have any money to invest. Yeah, but every month you can keep saving a little bit, right? Whether that's 10% or maybe even more, but minimum 10%, and keep building up your assets, keep building it up. So as much as you possibly can.
And there's another question from Vincent about the fact that he's based in France, and he wants to know, should he be joining a local club or can he be joining this club?
Oh, wow. That's the great thing about this club. We have members from all over the world, especially now with Roger's people. I mean, from all over the world. And, they'll have lots of different questions, of course, about exchanges, etc. And together we'll do that research if there is something specifically local. But generally speaking, cryptos is a very global phenomenon. And so therefore, even though he's in France, he'll be able to take advantage of 99.9% of what we're doing, which is great.
Amazing. Kumar asks, he says he can't link his account to any crypto exchange. Can you comment on
that? Which country is he in?
Oh, he didn't say, but possibly India.
Okay, well, this is the kind of thing, that we get a lot. And so therefore, that's why we have those answers in the club, because everybody's slightly different. It might just be that the local exchanges don't allow you, but there will be some international ones that will allow you to do that.
Annette asks if this is similar to copy trading.
No, copy trading is a phenomenon whereby, let's say you have your account in your name, and I will have my account in my name, and then there is a link between my account and your account. So when I place a trade, it automatically gets placed on yours. Okay, that's a copy trade software. Here, I think we do something much better, which is give you control, meaning that you take control of your own finances. You really don't want somebody else trading your money for you, because how do you know what strategy they're using? How do you know that even if it is working, the person that's doing it maybe leaves the company and then there's a new person, then suddenly it doesn't, then you're back to, it's all about knowledge. Why is Roger always sharing, these kind of the visions and the trends and everything, so that you understand what to do for you and your family? Let's take control, let's take control. And that's what your crypto club is all about.
Aris asks, so when will oh, sorry, should I do one more question?
Yeah, you go ahead, and then I've got a few questions as well, Danny.
Awesome. So Aris asks when all the Bitcoin will be mined by. When does their mining actually stop?
Oh, I think they've got a date like 2134. It's basically when Bitcoin has mined 21 million. When that happens, then it stops. And that's going to take a while, because remember, it slows down. The mining actually slows down as well. It's brilliant the way it's been thought out. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I'd love to know who Satoshi Nakamoto really is.
Yes. But it's actually very interesting, the actual calculation as well on the total 21 million, which obviously haven't all been mined, that if it does hit a million, which is what it's scheduled to do, that obviously means that it's, you got a $20 trillion market at that point for all Bitcoin. Gold has 10 trillion, already is predicted to go over gold as a store of value, but 20 trillion is actually about the same amount of money that the governments in the world have printed in the last 2 years, right? There's well over $100 trillion now, and it went up by 20 trillion. So currencies are being debased so rapidly that we think of Bitcoin as like, can it sustain its value? And then to see the government actually print that much is pretty phenomenal, right? So when you start to see the likes of companies and big investors like funds come in and start getting involved, and then the likes of the fact that just in the last 6 months you've had Square, PayPal, all these platforms, even Visa, saying, okay, we're actually now going to accept Bitcoin as well. This just changes the whole demand equation when the supply is always going to be fixed.
But Roger, it's even better because remember that approximately 3 to 4 million of these Bitcoins have been lost. Because right at the beginning, it was a game. It was a let's see what happens, and they're on hard drive. People didn't take it seriously. If it's worth 32 cents, who takes it seriously? So there's stories of the cleaner throwing out USB sticks and laptops, and with millions and millions and millions. Of course, now everybody is really safe now, right? And then the other thing, so there isn't going to be 21 million. There'll probably be about 18 million. So it's going to be even higher. And then the other thing is that because everybody talks about Bitcoin so much, and I get it, it's blockchain 1.0. It's like the world reserve currency. I get that in terms of blockchain. But what we're also looking for, and I say also, right? We're not only doing this, but we're looking for where is the next Bitcoin? What is the next Ethereum? Because in terms of percentage gains, you're looking at, I showed you my BNB, 27,000%, but there are others, the Polkadots, what about those? What about Cardano? These two Ethereum killers, what they're doing now with Africa, serving whole countries there. It's really heating up. We really are not right at the beginning, where you don't want to be in right at the beginning, because, how many things fail right at the beginning. You're right at that. Is it an apex? I'm not. You probably know the word. Right where it's really lifting off.
Absolutely. Danny, you had another question. Did you want to ask that one? And then I know there's a whole bunch of new people who've asked new questions, which will be great for us to get to as well. You still with us, Danny?
Yeah, just loading some comments. So Kirsty Terry asks, what would the minimum starting amount be? What would you recommend as a minimum on a monthly basis? She's new to crypto.
Okay, is that different to the other question? That's the same, right? So you mean in each crypto? You mean in terms of asset allocation?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Actually, I think we can combine a number of questions, because Aris Jack also asked, can we do the 5% trading with as low as $100 or our fees as much? So I think all of these are around basically like, what's the minimum to even get started? Or another way, I think another way to put it, because we are talking about the club, does it make sense to go into the club if you're not thinking you've got thousands to invest at this point?
That's a great question. That's a great question. The answer is 100% yes, because the very first thing that you need to do is you need to educate yourself on what to do. Some people say, well, I'll get the money and then I'll educate myself. Why would you do that? Why not, as you're getting the money, educate yourself so that when you have the money, you are ready to go. Plus, you need to get set up with the exchanges, you need to get set up with the wallets, etc. You need to know what you're doing. I would suggest, by the way, straight away taking a weekend to go through the entire club, just listening to it, maybe at 1.25 speed, 1.5, through the entire thing. And there are 5 modules. So then come back. Once you've listened to module number 1, you don't need to listen to it again, but you do need to listen to it. Then concentrate on module number 2, number 3, number 4, and then really study module number 3, number 4, the strategies. Because like I said, there are learning videos, and then there are doing videos. I got this from Alex Mandosian, which I think is really good, because some people, they take home study courses and then they go to the gym. And suddenly the person says, right, now here's what I want you to do. Well, I'm in the gym. How can I do it? So we have L videos and D videos. So that if it's a D video, don't go to the gym, don't go for a run. But on the others, yes, go and listen and and don't waste time. Hey, this is all about getting up to speed as soon as possible. And while you're doing it, collect whatever money you need to. You don't need a lot to get started. We've had people starting with $500. We've had a person, put in $1,000 into Aave, and a year later it was worth 100,000. And they basically said, Marcus, I don't know. They're panicking. Marcus, what do I do? What do I do? Because they've never experienced this amount of money. Their mind can't take it. And I'm like, first of all, take a deep breath. Secondly, tell me, what is the strategy? And I said, well, the strategy is this. And I say, so what's the answer? And just keep going. Because as you expand, do you remember when you first started and you kind of said to your parents, did you ever do that? You kind of said, how much money do you earn? And they said to you, well, this is years and years ago, we earn 20,000 or 25,000. And as a child, you went, Mom, 25,000 pounds. I'll be rich if I ever, like this. But then you grew. You started earning your money. Now you're earning probably more than 25,000. You're going 25,000. It's like nothing, right? You need to grow into these large amounts of money,
And the good news is, like, the very first investment you make could be $10. It does not have to be that much once you actually set up your actual wallet and you set up your exchange and get it all going. And it's just the actual experience of doing it and then seeing it grow. It actually gets your focus into the right places you go as well. I just wanted to share a couple of these questions here, because there's one here. Joshua says, can I have a link to the offer, please? So just again, a reminder, wherever you type that, you just type that on here, just scroll, right? Here is the link right here, join the club, right? So it's just right down below, all right? So, and this is all the information to actually just click and then to actually see the whole offer here, but also to click to join or to click to book your call. There's also a couple of other comments. I thought this was very funny. We actually have our micro school going on right now. So Jay and quite a number of others said, okay, I've got to go to the micro school. And she's actually got two going at the same time. It's actually Simon Zucchi who's on the micro school today. And there's Simon who actually highly recommended we get Marcus on for our micro school right now. So we don't want to take too much time from Simon, but good if you've got two screens going at the same time. And this, I think, is a really important question from Greg. Once we're paid and when does this all kick off, and the times of the group calls, etc., there in the UK. So let's talk about even from now to the summit next week, like what already Marcus can, Greg expect once he comes on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the summit is coming up 6th and the 7th of next month. So that's coming up fast. So basically, you will immediately, as soon as you get paid, you get a confirmation, an email. Then as soon as my team knows who the first 50 are, which will be literally, I don't know whether it's going to be this afternoon, could be this afternoon, if not first thing tomorrow morning, but it could be this afternoon. You will get confirmation of your login details. You will get the time and date that we're going to be doing the first call together. It's literally starting immediately. And if I were you, if there is any way at all, if you could do this, it would be amazing to go in and watch all the videos at least once this weekend. If you could do that to get ready for next week, it would be amazing, because then the questions that you're going to ask next week are going to be phenomenal, right? So yeah, just look, speed is of the essence. Let's do it now. Absolutely.
And let me just share one final thing on my side, and then because we'll cover most of the relevant questions right now, and then it'll be great, Mark. Just anything, Marcus, you wanted to kind of just complete on here as well. I do want to say that everything we've been talking about is about things some of you may be familiar with already. So we've been talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Ethereum. You've heard, Marcus just start talking about Cardano and Polkadot, which are like third generation after Ethereum as well. So to give you all an idea of how I'm thinking about this, yes, on the one hand, I'm learning how to trade, and more importantly, what to trade and what I'm missing, which has been massively valuable and paid for itself many, many times over already. But the second thing is, just by understanding this allows you to start integrating it into your own business as well. So we had one big challenge with Genius U, which is how do we build the AI side of Genius U? Now it happens that there is an entire system built off Cardano, which basically, without going into detail, is based on something called proof of stake instead of proof of work, which basically means you don't have to have the same energy to create it. And Cardano is smart contracts, just like Ethereum, which means that you can actually track and pay people that are using it. And SingularityNet, which is part of Singularity University, which I'm part of, actually have set up an entire AI marketplace, which is based now on Cardano. And the way it works is that any AI developer can basically put in their little thing like, okay, here's how you can make Genie better. Here's how you can, be having voice recognition. Here's how you can do instant translation. And then we can then plug that in, just like an app store, into Genius U, which allows us to actually have the best AI designers all over the world working with us. They get paid through the coin, and we also then can actually build Genie Coin off the back of their system. And so I started buying. SingularityNet has its own Bitcoin, its own cryptocurrency called AGI. I started buying that back a couple of months ago when I was thinking, okay, we're going to go down this route. It's looking right now like, because it's gone up by 1,000% after it went from Ethereum over to Cardano and is built off Cardano now, it's looking like we'll actually pay for all of our first round AI development just from the growth of the actual coin itself. I mean, this is just mind-blowing, the fact this is happening. So don't just be thinking you're going to be learning about investing. You'll be hearing about these kind of stories. Some of you know of Scott Picken. Scott, when he built Wealth Migrate, he decided to basically build it off cryptocurrency, which means when you own a piece of the properties that he then has investments on, you're getting your own piece of the blockchain, which you can then sell on to other people without having to go through a middleman. And so these are the mind-blowing things you realize are going to totally transform businesses in the future. You don't have to be behind the curve here. You'll hear about all these things when you're actually part of this community as well. So just want to really urge everyone who's half interested in this, do take action, do be part of this, because it's a very, very exciting decade that we have ahead of us. Marcus.
Wow, that just blew my mind as well. I tell you, AGI, SingularityNet, I actually went in at the ICO, and you know, I didn't put a lot in because you don't have to. You just don't have to, you know. And I'm up massively on that, which is absolutely fantastic. So look, what can I say? Look, all I can say is that myself and my team, you know, we are not anything special. We don't have 10 brains, and we're just normal people that are taking advantage of a massive trend, if not one of the largest trends, and you can do the same. And so, you know, again, if I could do it, you can do it. We're here to help, and we can't wait to get started with you guys. We just can't wait. Yeah, it's very exciting what's happening right there.
That's fantastic. I want to say, for everyone who's been posting more questions, do make sure you book a call if you haven't already decided you want to join, so you can get those questions answered, because the people that you're going to be speaking to are all part of Marcus's team, who all themselves are cryptocurrency investors themselves. They all themselves know answers to all of these questions as well. So do make the time to have that call and really just get all your questions answered. I want to say, Marcus, thank you so much for this call, and just for being part of the community and helping so many of our Genius members to really be getting the value out of this whole trend that's happening right now. And thanks very much for running this special session as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for your time. Thanks, Roger.